This is Every Man 2K, content creator of Everybody Loves Strong Mama Chrissy and Sansa Ray. I would like to thank you for sharing your time with me today. Shout out to all my chat room members and listeners who may be listening in your car, in the kitchen cooking, working out, or just listening while you work. Your time is greatly appreciated. Make sure you hit thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell and set it to all. Again, I thank you and I hope you enjoy this presentation. This is Every Man 2K, host of the channel with the same name and content creator of Everybody Loves Strong Mama Chrissy and Everybody Loves the Mamiana Gang. Both are located on a playlist from my homepage. Before we begin, first, I need for you to put your screen on full view. Now I need for you to get lifted with me as we rise from ground zero to up to 60,000 feet so we can look back down on this LIV situation to get a better perspective of what's really going on here. Let me tell you what I see. This situation that is going on is really not about a home or about real estate or about who owns what. What we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is a typical case of domestic violence abuse. Prior to her moving into that home, Liv claimed that she and Gerard had a terrible fight and breakup. Now, this fighting and breaking up had been going on for some time now. I suspect that Liv has become desperate, and the decision to jump into a lease to own all the way in Clearwater, Florida, was just an attempt to make things better in her relationship with Gerard, and it backfired. That filming of the house that Gerard did was sarcastic, and he was actually mocking her in that video when I look back at it. Also, that fat lip Liv had was not from no lip injection. That fat lip came from a lip inflation. That came from a lip inflation from Gerard's hands. And in one of her last lives was very disturbing, where Liz talks about fighting Gerard and his new girlfriend. She sadly states that she has no problem going to jail by causing bodily harm with a bat. Well, in this video, she claims she is now in Texas, where Gerard is, and basically stalking him and his new girlfriend, and being a self-described codependent. Let's go ahead and hear her speak on that matter. We will then look back at the claim she is making about home ownership. I will break down Liv's lie piece by piece. After we take a virtual road trip to the property and give it a good look and examination, I will then review some past receipts. Also, I have added some spoken word at the end of this video from an artist I've worked with in the past that I want you to check out. Now, this guy's pretty tight with his words, and he made it all the way to HBO Def Jam Poetry with it. I will be hosting a chat room for any discussions and any questions and to answer any questions that you may have. All right, this is Deputy Mayor 2K, y'all. Let's get it.
Back with part 2 of this messy ass crazy situation brought to you by Liv. Ding. So I told you guys about the house in part 1. Now part 2. Okay, so like I said, he was still talking to me. We were still talking this whole time. I'm not gonna get into details this, but I was just like, I like Florida. I really, really do. Florida is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. My family's there. My sister, my beautiful, beautiful sister, which I miss so much. I feel like I could cry. I miss her so much. But my mommy, everybody. But just hated the weather. I hate Florida weather. I hate Florida weather. I just couldn't get down with the freaking weather. I couldn't. Now, my sister was like, you'll get used to it. I was like, girl, no, I won't. Okay? I won't. I couldn't. I just didn't like the weather. And even though Florida is freaking gorgeous, and maybe I'll move back one day, I don't really know. I was just like, I feel like it was all about timing. And I feel like in a sense it was God. Whatever. It just led me here. It led me here. Where is here, you might ask? Drum roll, please. I am in Texas. Yes. I came back to the Lone Star State, baby. And before somebody's like, wait, are you chasing them? No. Like I said, we have 3. Ugh, my nail. We have 3. Not 1, not 2, but 3 kids together. And he and y'all got me up. If you think that I'm finna raise these kids all by myself, it's not finna happen. I don't care if he's giving me money. My kids need their father. That's what I keep freaking stressing to him. Like, I don't think he understands because he didn't have an absent parent. Both of his parents were around. But it is so important for the kids to have him in their life, okay? I know that. I've always known that. I feel like that's why I've stayed with him for so long. That's one of the reasons why I've stayed with him for so long. But my kids, and they love their dad. They freaking love him. So I just bit the bullet and I was like, you know what? Let's just go. Let's just go to Texas. And we traveled a little bit. We saw things here and there. No, I did not vlog everything because I don't have to. I chose not to. But best believe before I left Florida, I had this place. Like, people were like, oh, she's homeless. She's living with her sister. No. Actually, before I was out the house, I had this place. So I was never homeless. I was never like just, like didn't know where I was going. No, I had this place. So it comes close to the move. I did stay with my sister for a couple days. The move even. Oh my God, it was so much. But we made it. I got the U-Haul. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was very stressful, very hard on me. All the while, I'm still talking to their father, and I was just like, no, I did not chase him here. I was like, I already knew he was down here doing him, even though he told me I'm going to get my ish together. Like, like what we've always said to each other, like, we know we have issues to work on within ourselves, and we've always said whenever we're not together that we're getting our ish together. Only to find out it's something completely different. I don't know if you guys know what's going on. I don't know when I'm posting this video, basically, but I'm not going to get into it in this video. But, your boy got a whole situation, and I'm just like, really? Like, so this is why you really left Florida? This is why you weren't willing to work on it with your wife, and this is why you left your kids? Really? Like, I feel like if we really had to sit down talk, he told me that he didn't really like the house. He wasn't really feeling the house. Okay. Even though I got the house for our family, I got it, because he was always complaining. We're not stable. We don't have a stable home. Okay, well, your girl did that. Like, I did that for my family. I'm not gonna cry, bitch. No. We have moved around a lot. So he was just always like, I have to start over every time we move, and we don't even have a house for the kids. We're living in apartments. I don't care if we live in an apartment. If as long as it's
Introducing Botanica, home fragrances with exotic pairings. Warm vanilla and Himalayan magnolia.
comfy and it's cozy and the kids are good. Like, I don't think anything's wrong with living in an apartment. But he would always like bring it up, like, we need a house or whatever. So I took it upon myself and I did that for our family. But he had a whole situation, not me not knowing, because he doesn't tell me anything, of course. Whatever. So I came to Texas, and now I found out about what's been going on, and I don't know. It is what it is. But I didn't come here. My main purpose was not coming here to be with him. Like, maybe I probably thought in the back of my mind, like, who knows? Like, it's kind of like, this is going to sound so corny, but you guys watch Friends? It's like Rachel and Ross, okay? Which I know, like, is nothing like us. We're way worse. But, Rachel and Ross had gone through so much, just like we have. But it's like, you just always hoped they would end up together. That was kind of like us. Like, I always hoped we would end up together because regardless of how stupid he is or how immature he is or the stupid shit that he thinks and does, I still got a lot of love for him. You know what I mean? I still do. And maybe I always will. But I know now for sure, like, he so far crossed the line with this whole thing that he's doing that I'm done. I have to be done because it's ridiculous, girl. Like, I already feel like this man has aged me. He has stressed me out to no limits. And I'm just done. I'm just done. And he's done too, obviously. Even though he's so confused in his head. One day he's done, one day he's not. It's like, bro, he just needs to work on him, and he can do that over there. He can do that over there. Let somebody else deal with you and take care of you. And who says, let me tell you, girl, the narcissistic tendencies and the codependent ways were like this. Like, we were just right here. You feel me? But I'm done. Like, I'm done. I know what I have to work on within myself. This is gonna make me cry because I'm figuring out now.
Know what season it is? Bathing suit season? No, handsome twin season. Handsome twins in bathing suit season. No.
That I am extremely codependent. And I guess a part of me, I mean, I didn't even really know what that was before I started looking into all this stuff. But I am codependent, and I feel like that's why and he's very narcissistic. So it goes hand in hand. And you should even see, like, the whole situation he's in now is the same exact thing. The codependency is up here, and it just makes sense. It makes sense why it's happening the way that it's happening. So it's fine. Like, I've already come to realization, and it hurts. I'm not going to say it doesn't hurt because it's very hurtful. Even though I keep saying this, like, we've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of downs mostly. I don't know, like, I just felt like he was gonna really always love me, or I don't know, you guys. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. And it's most likely, I think it really truly is. It's a blessing. Because when we were in Florida, I did break up with Gerard. You guys don't know this, but I broke up with him first. I broke up with him when we were still in that apartment. He was very hurt. He was wanting to work out the relationship, and I didn't want to, like, because I wasn't really happy. And could we have fixed it? Probably. We probably could have went to counseling if we actually really put the work in and fixed it, but we didn't. So we had made up along the way, and we decided to both move into the house together. Girl, let him tell it. He was just moving into the house to make me happy. I was like, bro, like, that's another thing. Like, he can't just, like, be 100%. He can't just keep it real with me. Like, girl. But anyway, like I said, my kids are all that I care about right now. And my kids have been through so much with us and our BS. I don't want to put them through that anymore. Like, I seriously, seriously don't. And if that means that I can't talk to him, if that means that I can't see him, or I can't be around him for however long it takes, then that's just what it has to be. But that doesn't mean that my kids have to suffer. My kids can still see him. You know, we can work out a way. You know, I talked to his sisters. We can work out a way where the kids can go with him, and because we were trying to do it, like, he would come
Crafting lasting fragrances begins in nature. Airwick scented oils are
here and watch the kids, and girl, that didn't work. So I kind of feel like also I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself around him because it's like we're a magnet or something. It's the craziest thing. It's the craziest, craziest thing. So no, I don't even trust myself around him. And like I said, he has a whole situation. He needs to figure out his own life and do that over there. You know, he is a father first, I hope. And I hope that he just gets his shit together and realizes how important it is for him to be in his kid's life, you know, because it is. It's the most important thing at this point. Forget us. You know, I want to work on me, and he definitely needs to work on him. And, you know, I just hope and pray. And it's not like, I'm going to say this, but it's not like I need a man, because, girl, I don't need a man, okay? I'm good. You know, I felt like I needed him, but I don't need him. I don't need anybody. Like, I'm good. I do all of this myself. So I'm okay. I want to get my divorce and, you know, soon after, you know, just start dating and stuff. Like, I'm excited for that. I'm scared. Actually, I'm really scared to date, but I'm also excited. But yeah, guys, that's where I'm at. I'm in Tejas, okay? Tejas, whatever the hell you call it, Texas. Shit. Y'all don't need to know the specifics, okay? But I think people were saying I was scared to come back to Texas. I think that's what I heard. No. Mm-mm. No. I ain't never scared. I'm just like, no, but I have so much supporters out of here. Like, I've met a lot of supporters since I've been back. And I haven't been back that long. I've only been back like a week or two. And I met like, I want to say 10 people, but I don't think it's been exactly 10, but it's been 8 or 10 people. And that's what's up. Like, I got a lot of love out here. So, I mean, this is where I started, right? Well, actually, there's some, I don't know. I think I started this channel in Cali. Now the mystery has been solved. Y'all know where I'm at. And y'all can stop freaking asking me. Okay? Y'all don't need to know nothing else other than I'm in Texas, okay? And no, did nobody chase nobody. Number one, the kids need their father. That's number one. And I don't understand how people don't understand that. Like, people are just putting so much emphasis on him and I. Yes, him and I, that was also in the far, far back of my mind. Maybe, possibly, who knows? Who knows? But like I said, finding out what I know now, like, I actually know the truth of everything. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm really, really good. He can have that. He can have all of that. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's it, guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I love y'all. Like, I love y'all a lot. Oh, and I got my lips done. I don't want nobody to think I left anything out, because y'all love to call a bitch a liar, okay? But yeah, I got my lips done. I like them. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I do. And I don't plan to get anything else. Maybe some Botox, like right here and right here. Anyway, I don't fucking know, bitch. But I don't know. We'll see though. But I am having fun with my lips, if you know what I mean. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys on the next video. Remember to always be you, do you, and love you. And that's on period. There's a lot that has been said. So as you guys know, I've recently moved out of the house that I had purchased. I'm gonna keep saying that. Like, I don't care what you guys say. I'm gonna keep saying purchase because I'm gonna get into that in a minute. But as you guys know, there's a lot being said about me on these YouTube streets. I don't like to call it that, but whatever. And I feel like I just want to just address it. You know what I mean? I needed my time and my space, and I wanted to address it on my time. And people were like, you're such a liar because you're not telling us anything. It's like, girl, I don't have, first of all, I don't even have to. I don't have to say anything. I could just go on vlogging and not say anything. But I want to say something because it's obviously, first of all, I don't have no reason to, like, I mean, yes, I do have a reason to keep this to myself because there's really weirdos out there that try to find out your every single move and everything. But other than that, like, I don't want people to think I'm scared because a bitch ain't never scared. Okay, a bitch ain't never scared. Okay, so let's talk about the house first, and then we'll get into where I'm at and what I'm doing and all that good stuff. What happened with the house? I moved in July, correct? July. And, man, this is gonna be a long video, girl. Go get your popcorn, go get your tea, go get your coffee, sis. I moved in July. I don't remember the exact date. I think it was July 10th. Girl, I don't remember. It was so much going on. But I moved in. Now, that house was a lease to own, okay? I don't care what nobody says. People are going to be like, oh my gosh, she was renting. No, bitch. I was leasing to own that mother. Okay? The reason why I'm so adamant on saying own, because I put $13,000 down on it. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not putting $13,000 down just to be cute with it and just to be like, oh, we gonna stay here. I'm gonna lease this and then I'm gonna be out. No, no, no. No, 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 no. That was gonna be my home. That was gonna be my home until I could actually, you know, lease to own something else or buy, just right out buy something else. But I started working with this program where it was a lease to own program, and they were going to help you build your credit. Because, you know, my credit wasn't, it was enough to buy it, but I wouldn't have gotten the interest rate that I wanted off the house. Girl, it's a lot. But anyway, that's why I am so adamant on saying I bought that house, because I put $13K down that I had saved. I had worked my ass off for it. If I was just going to rent, sis, I would just go rent. Like, I could, you know, it would have been something completely different. I wasn't lying. I just didn't have to say, this is my lease to own house. No, this is my house. Like, if I'm going to be in this, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to keep this mother, okay? And I'm going to, and not even.
California Document Preparers. Amicable divorce in 6 easy steps. If you can agree on division of property and a parenting plan, we can save you a lot of money. 1.
It was a 3-year lease term. Girl, I wasn't even going to wait 3 years. I was just going to wait, I was going to wait a year because my credit is, you know, not that shabby. And then I was going to just all in purchase it, put in all the paperwork, and just write out, own the house. So anyway, that was the whole thing with that. When I moved into that house, it's not that I couldn't afford it. Yes, I paid $2,000 a month for that house. And it's not that I could not afford it. Because as you know, my husband left the state. We had gotten into it. It was just a lot going on. And I'm not even going to get into that right now. But he ended up leaving and going back to Texas. Okay, fine. I did actually then realize, though, that it was like, it's a lot of maintenance. Because another thing, if you're actually renting a place, the the company that owns it or whatever will fix everything, right? But no. I was responsible for all the fixes, the lawn, the pool, the everything. And it was a lot. It was a lot for me once he had left. So I don't want to say like I needed him to keep the place, because I could have worked my butt off, grinded, and stayed in that house if I wanted to. But I was just like, here it is. Here's what happened. A week in from having the house, something was wrong with the pipes in the kitchen. Now, mind you, when I had, showed you guys the house tour, everything was new. Like, they had a new roof, a new AC unit, new tiles. They just remodeled that whole house. So the fact that there was like a huge leak in my kitchen, I was like, I didn't vlog any of this because I already knew how people were going to try to eat it up and talk shit. And it's like, and like I said, a lot of things I do keep off of YouTube. Okay, people don't think I do, but I do, sis. Trust me. So the pipe in the kitchen broke. Girl, it was a whole thing. It was like a whole week to 2 week thing. They had to rip up the cabinets, and girl, they had to just they had to change the pipes in the kitchen, put all the cabinets back. It was a lot. And at the same time, my marriage was falling apart. And it was a lot on me. Like, wow. I look back on it now and it's like,
Senator Jones said he'll try to stop President Trump's Supreme Court nominee. Tell him to confirm Judge Barrett.
I don't know how I got through that, because even after him and I got into it and he did that huge crazy thing that he did, I still wanted to work on my marriage. I was still there, telling him, let's do something about this, let's fix it. And listen, I know people are going to talk a lot of ish about me, that whatever you guys are going to say, but I will always say this, probably to the day I die, because I'll probably be telling my kids this too, that I have loved him since forever. And yes, he makes bad decisions. We're going to get to that. Yes, he has his flaws and he's not always a good person and he doesn't treat me good at all. But I still love him. And I'm figuring why that is now. Like, I'm figuring out why I have this pull to him, this draw to him, this constant just needing him and wanting him. And girl, I'm figuring all that out now. I'm doing like some type of therapy, and anyway, it doesn't even matter. But the whole kitchen situation happened. They fixed the kitchen, and actually the company had paid for it to get it fixed because I had just moved in. I was like, I'm not going to pay for this. I just moved in. I didn't move in. I kept telling my mom this. I did not buy a broken house. I did not do all this to buy a broken house. Anyway, the kitchen was fixed. We were moving on. And then the pipes in the bathroom started giving me problems. So I had 2 bathrooms. I had a full bath and I had a half bath. And the toilet in the half bath and the sink the toilet was not flushing, and the sink, the water would come out the sink. So basically the pipes, I ended up finding out from the plumber that came to fix the kitchen. He was like, these pipes are like 100 years old. They're really bad pipes. I don't know why the company didn't fix this before you moved in, before you purchased the home. I was just like, yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Like, I was pretty upset. I was like, no, like $2,000 a month and I have to deal with all this. Okay. And the company was still, again, they were like, we'll fix it. We'll have people come out, but they were going to have to like rip up all the flooring. And I was like, the kitchen situation was horrible. I couldn't use my kitchen. Yes, they took off, they credited me a certain amount during that month on the payments. But I was like, no, I have a baby. I'm not going to live here while y'all rip up these floors. I was just over it at that point, honestly. Like, the kitchen pissed me off, but then the bathroom, I was just like, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. Like, I'm freaking over it. On top of it, the maintenance of the house. And I don't want to say that, and I don't want to stress it like, oh, I couldn't do it because he wasn't there, because I could have. It became too much with the problems. And then I told my mom, my mom wanted me to stay at that house. She thought it was a great deal. My sister loved the house. It was a nice house. You know what I mean? I liked it. It was a very bright, beautiful, beautiful home. Was it the perfect home for us? No, not really. But it was a nice house. Now, like I said,
the thermoscientific Dionix ICS 6000 HPIC ion chromatography system. It really meets the needs of a wide variety of people. And so I think people...
My mom told me just to stay, but I was like, no. So I had told the realtor, I was like, look, at this point, things are going wrong, and I don't want to stay in this contract any longer because I didn't go into this thinking that the pipes were fucked up. Because if I knew that, I would not have gotten the house. Like, no, I just wouldn't have. I would have kept looking. I would have seen if they had something different for me, something else. But I don't want to deal with that. That's a huge problem. If something's wrong with the pipes, girl, that's all up and through and under the house. I was not going to do that. And I also told my mom, I was like, there's already 2 things that happened with this house already. So if I keep it and I'm in it for 6, 8 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year, and something else major happens, they're not going to fix it no more. Like, I'm going to have to do it myself because I've been here long enough. I was still there only like a month or 2. So that's why that's why she was offering to fix these things, for free. But any other unforeseen things that happened with that house, girl, I was going to have to pay for it. Okay. And we had an inspection and everything done on the house. That's why I don't understand how the pipes were not being brought up in the inspection, but whatever. I had asked her, I was like, I want to get out of my contract. Can I get out of my contract? And she said, yeah, you can get out of your contract. We will refund you all of your money back, minus the damages, anything that we damaged, which wasn't anything. And yeah, that's what I did. And it just so happened that it happened at the time that it did because, I was already like, I don't know. I was just over it for some reason. I was over just Florida and as a whole. I was just over it. And I guess a little bit had to do with him leaving. But also, it's like, what people are not understanding, and I don't understand how people don't get this. I don't think he gets this. He's the father, okay, of these kids. I didn't bring these kids into the world by myself, and I understand hundreds, millions, hundred millions of women do it every day by themselves, no help from no man. But that wasn't the deal with him and I. You know what I mean? Like, we were in a relationship.
Across the country, individuals and small businesses have taken up the challenge to help with our face mask shortage, only to find a shortage of highly effective face mask material. At Filty, we're on a mission to help.
This whole time, even when we broke up, girl, we were still in a relationship. Our relationship is it's over now. Like, it's completely 100% over now. But that relationship was a mess. Of course, this whole time, him and I are talking. He's, still leading me on, as he always does. Always does. And I was like, you guys ready? You ready for the bomb? You ready for the bomb? I guess I'll tell you guys where I'm at. But that will be in part 2. So make sure you guys stay tuned to part 2 because I don't want to make this video be 40 minutes long. But yeah, that's what happened with the house. And I guess part 2 will be the rest of the story. Thank you guys for watching. and I'll see you on the next one.
Well, all right. This live breakdown is going to be easy. Olivia, baby, it is obvious that you do not know nothing about home ownership. When you purchase a home, it is documented with a proof of purchase in the form of a deed that transfers ownership from the previous owner to the new owner with an exact amount and a date. And that document is registered by the county that you live in for property tax purposes. Livia, you have not provided that because you do not have that, because you do not own the home. Now, I understand that you put down a down payment of $13,000 to begin the process, but that does not mean you own a home. No, you just started the process, but you did not finish the process by securing the funding amount from the bank. So you just lost $13,000. See, you trying to be slick by acting like we don't see this big ass pink elephant in the room. Now you can act like you bought a home, Olivia, but there's too much documented public records that say otherwise. Furthermore, you talked about getting your money back because of property issues, and they were okay with that. Well, if you got the down payment back, then how will you still own the home? I mean, which lie are you going to tell, Olivia? You know what? I'm going to go ahead and tell you which lie you're going to tell. The money you got back from the landlord was not the down payment. The money you got back was the security deposit of the $2,000 that rightfully allowed for you to get out of the lease portion of the agreement. But you did not get no $13,000 down payment back, Ben. You did not get no $13,000 down payment back, Ben. You didn't get it because you didn't secure the funding all the way, because you inflated your income that included your rod. That's right. Gotcha, bitch. You ain't got no $13,000 back because you did not secure the funding, because you had bogus income. That's what happened. And you might as well just chalk that up to the game. And the thing about it is, I'm pretty sure the landlord had no problem giving you back $2,000 because they were already up $13,000 in the home ownership portion. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and take a quick tour of the home, and then we can run through my receipts. Let's go. Okay, on the screen now is a description of Olivia's old rental property that she had in Clearwater, Florida. The rental listing amount is $1,995 a month, and it's a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath at 1,300 square feet. The program she was in was a lease to own. The program allows a home buyer up to 36 months to qualify for a loan. All the while, they get to live in the home, and it is 100% of the down payment goes toward the purchase price. The monthly payment actually includes insurance, property tax, and homeowners association payments too. It is fully renovated, featuring a modern open floor plan and large pool calling your name. Upgrades include a new roof, Whirlpool stainless steel appliances, paired with new cabinets and gorgeous granite. Okay, now we're going to look at the source from Zillow.com. If you look at the top of the page, that is that address of question on Owen Drive in Clearwater, Florida. Now, Zillow has very valuable information. One of it is price history. A lot of people have not noticed that. But for every property that they have listed, they show a price history of events of that property, whether it be sold or rented. Okay, so let's go to price history that you see on the screen. But we're going to start from the bottom, from February 25th, and work our way up to present day to show all transactions that has been on this property since the February 2020 of this year. Now, it says on public record, right, that this property was sold on February the 25th, 2020. It was sold. Now remember that date because we're going to come back to it later. Then later on in April, it was listed for sale and was listed on in April and May, but no one bought it. And then the listing for sale was removed on May the 29th. Okay, so since they couldn't sell it, then in June 19th, 2020, they listed it for rent. And then in July 10th, it was removed. The reason why it was removed, because someone rented it. And that was Livia. It does not say sold. It says listing remove rent, and it was rented for that time. The only owner of this home for the entire year of 2020 was the person that bought it on February 25th, and that was not Olivia. She picked it up on July 10th as a renter at the rate of $19.95 per month. And then it even shows even more current date where it's listed again. She has moved out. She moved out around September 15th or so. Well, probably a little bit earlier because it was actually listed for rent on the 15th. So she probably moved out near probably the first of the month. So as you can see, this is a detailed listing, if you will, of the price history of this property for the most part of 2020. There is no listing or documentation that Olivia gained any type of ownership. The only ownership the only sole listing that it has was on February the 25th, 2020, at the very beginning of the year. And then from that point going forward, it was all rental, all rental, all rental. Olivia picked it up in July and she left it in September. Now, I say remember this February 25th date because we're going to come back to it a little bit later. Okay, guys, remember I told you, remember that February date 2020? And when it said that was the only date of sale for the year of 2020? Okay, well, here's the documentation for that. This is the warranty that was executed on the 21st of February 2020 from Wanda Weddington, who was the owner at the time, to a company. And that company is called Bay Capital Holdings, LLC. They are the ones that bought that house from the individual on February 2020. and they bought it for $179,000. Again, the owner of that house right now that bought it on February 2020 is Bay Capital Holdings, LLC. It is not Olivia. Okay? They bought it in February and was owning it for the rest of the year. And then later on that year, around May or so, they put it up for rent. And later on in the summer is when Olivia picked it up as a renter. She came in as a renter. She left as a renter. There was no sales transaction between Bay Capital Holdings, LLC, that bought it in February 2020 to Olivia. There's no sales transaction. No ma'am, no sir. The only thing Bay Capital Holdings offered to Olivia was a rental agreement. Now, it may have been some mix of rental or rent to own, but at no point did Olivia have any ownership of that home. Now, I think what happened is she probably agreed to some type of rent to own with a down payment of $13,000. And I hope she got that $13,000 back. Because if not, then all they did was took her lunch money. They saw her coming down from Texas, down I-10, and said, yeah, we got us one. And I think her anxiety right now is that $13,000 may be tied up to some type of agreement that she had with these guys. And that's why she wants somebody to come in and buy the home that can break her out of this agreement that she has. I got a feeling she got $13,000 tied up. Because it's my understanding that once you get into an agreement like that in terms of a rent to own, you got to go through some type of period where you got to be in good faith and trying to find some type of funding for the home. I think you have to be in good faith, go out to banks and try to see if they can approve you for a loan for the home. And I think she can't get it approved, and that $13,000 is being held up. And that's why she's stressing. So I'm hoping she got a way to get out of that agreement and get that $13,000, because that ain't nothing to brag about. I mean, she keep bragging about, well, I put $13,000 now. I put $13,000. Then you put $13,000 on something that you ain't got nothing to show for. You put $13,000 down on something that you can't even show for. You have absolutely no ownership of that home. None. And $13,000 is a lot of money. And here's the thing that I've learned about rent to own agreements, that they only look good on paper. I've owned a home for over some 20 years. I've been in a position where I've been a landlord and I've talked about rent to own before. They never come to fruition. They never come to. It all sounds good on paper. Because when you think about it, if a person does have $13,000, and if they can make $2,000 a month in a sort of payment, they would just go ahead and be a person that can buy a house. I mean, why would you agree to that? If you sitting really on 13 grand and you really can make $2,000 a month in a payment, then there's no need to be in a rent to own situation. You can just try to own. So listen, I don't know what she has done, but I'm telling you right now, she's a liar. She's a liar. She does not own no property nowhere in Florida, and she definitely don't own this one here in Clearwater with this address. Again, this property belongs to Bay Capital Holdings, LLC, and they've been owning it since February 2020. Okay, so this is another piece of information from the Pinellas County Tax Assessor Office that supports what I just said, right? Now, this has been updated on September 26, 2020, which is just a couple days ago. So this is the most recent information on that property in Clearwater, Florida, where Olivia claims she owns that house, right? Okay, if you look at the top of the page on the right, you see that address on Owen Drive. On the left, tell me what you see as far as ownership. I tell you what you don't see. You don't see no Olivia somebody on there, do you? No, you do not. Again, the owner of that home as of September 26th is Bay Capital Holdings LLC, located in Tampa. That's their office. But they own that property on Owen Drive in Clearwater, Florida. And this matches up with that deed that you just saw earlier that was executed on February 2020. And it also coincides with Zillow.com, where it says it was sold in February 2020. So again, every piece of information I have provided you today matches up. And in closing, I want to be clear. In February 2020, this property on Owen Drive in Clearwater, Florida, was bought by Bay Capital Holdings LLC. Then it was listed for rent, and Olivia picked it up as a renter. And there is some ambiguity in terms of what type of rental agreement she had, because it could have included a rent-to-own. But she has never owned it. She has never owned it. So wherever $13,000 she put down, it has been for naught. She has nothing to show for it. And I think that's where the embarrassment really lies. Instead of just saying, I might have blown $13,000, she's going to say, no, I did use $13,000, but now I own the home. No, ma'am, no, sir. No, you do not. Because I got 3 pieces of information here from legitimate sources that say otherwise. This is Ebony Man 2K. This is Freaknik 1994 at Piedmont Park, Atlanta. My toes are pedicured in Timberland sandals. I am poloed down with polo Bermuda shorts, polo t-shirt, polo cap, and a hoop earring in my left ear. Now, even though I'm poloed down, I'm wearing Hilfiger cologne. Because for whatever reason, that Hilfiger cologne emanating off my chest and off my shoulders is that candy. It's that lick. Now, I just met the girl to the left of me. She is a senior at Spelman, and she want to know how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. I tell her 30. She say I'll give you 50. Ladies and gentlemen, I am anxious to give you the rest of this story and more about Freaknik and dating in Atlanta in my series Storytime with Ebony Man 2K. But as I mentioned in previous videos, as I step up my game, I ask that you step up yours. My donations right now are not bad. The same people are donating modestly, and I appreciate their support morally, spiritually, and financially. But now it's time for you to step up and join the fold. Whenever you get to a comfortable spot with me and your finances, I ask that you consider donating to support me in my efforts with this channel. I have already created an entertaining collection of videos on Sansaray, Strong Mama Chrissy, the Mamiana Gang, the Viper Pit, and Good Vibes Only music sessions. You can go to my playlist right now to see I ain't lying. And if I add story times with 2K, it will require additional production costs with the sorting and management of hundreds of media files. And let's be clear now. My stories are valuable. I have landed deals after sharing my stories with clients. I have been the talk of dinner parties with my stories. And I have kikied my way with some high caliber women with my story times. If I start these story times, you will not get enough of Ebony Man 2K. Now, I will leave you with my Cash App and PayPal handles later on in this video. The links to my PayPal and Cash App are in the description box below and at the top of the comment section. You can also super chat me if you choose to do so. And soon, I will be offering a membership option through Google Pay. All right, folks, let's get to what we came in for. I will add replays for those who came in the premiere late. And I will be available in the chat room for those who have any questions or just want to chop it up with me and others. All right, let's go. When I lived in Atlanta, I created and hosted an open mic that featured spoken word artists and poets. One of my favorite artists was a guy by the name of Tommy Bottoms. I related to him because, like me, he was an educated brother, but had street game. But more importantly, he always questioned the system, and he spoke truth to power in his material. I came across his YouTube channel that seems to be dormant, but I wanted to share with you a couple of his audio clips that are profound, even though he spoke them over a decade ago. One performance talks about the manipulation of the judicial system in regards to crime. And in recognition of Juneteenth, the other one talks about slavery and the parallels of the prison industrial complex. Tommy Bottoms, if you're out there listening, consider this to be a show of appreciation of your work. Peace, bro.
9 to 5 grind just be weighing heavy on my mind. Cause see, them 2 15-minute breaks and a half-hour lunches don't be enough. So when I go home, I'll be ready to relax my dome and unwind and let my mind release by burning some green trees wrapped in a brown leaf. So on my way home to the crib, I hit the weed spot, give me a $20 bag of that gunfire, and hit the liquor store, get a box of Phillies and 2 tall cans of Budweiser. Then one day I'm sitting at the crib smoking a spliff, sipping my brews, and I happen to be flipping past the Embassy Nightly News, and I see this police chief giving some speech about he setting up some crime task force committee to help crack down on crime in the city. And at the end of his little soliloquy, he had the nerve to say that he wanted to send a message out to the people that crime don't pay. Now that's a bunch of bullshit. Because not only is it cliche to say that crime don't pay, but that's like a 400-pound fat man trying to jump a fence. It just doesn't make sense. See, crime is big business. Just look how many people who are employed by the judicial system. From the COs to the POs to the prosecuting attorneys to the bailiffs who guard the juries, the courtroom stenographer, the crime scene photographer, the 911 dispatcher, the fire clerks, the phone tappers, and can't forget about the forensic science to do the lab test, the people who manufacture the bulletproof vest, the ATF, the FBI, and the DEA. And if crime would have stopped tomorrow, all these people would be out of work the very next day. See, crime is just as important to the economy as any other commodity. See, when the crime rate does go down, how often does the police department lay off some of his officers? See, since crime is big business, they just get the politicians to create more laws to create more criminals. So they come up with some little slick shit like a seatbelt law with a cute catchphrase like click or the ticket and claim they want to save lives. But the truth is, they just want to get off in the nigga business, see what he's doing off in his ride. You know, hopefully they catch him riding dirty with some weed, stashed in seats, around with a suspended license, doing a little drinking and driving. But if you really want to cut down on drinking and driving, then why isn't it required that you have to take a breathalyzer before you leave the bar or the club? Because see, they're ready for you to get off in the streets and have to deal with the police, and that's how they maintain their job security. And these correctional facilities turning niggas into modern day slaves, they paying a way below the minimum wage. So they pay a prisoner 15 cents an hour to press out your license plates. But when you go to the DMV, it costs you $200 or $300 for them exact same license plates. So don't tell me that crime don't pay, because every other day they shut down school because of city budget cuts. But when was the last time you heard of a prison going bankrupt? Then they got these fucked up cocaine laws where they give you 2 years for powder, 10 years for rock. But the truth is, they don't ever want to see the dope game stop. Because see, a drug is a drug, whether it's crack or Prozac. They got these little children addicted to Ritalin, but you never see no pharmaceutical company being portrayed as no villain. I mean, what if they made all the legal drugs illegal? You had niggas making rap videos about how they stand on the corner slinging nicotine patches and serving up 8 balls of Demerol and slinging keys of Viagra all the way to Florida to Alaska. But see, that's never gonna happen. Cause see, rich white folks have never allowed themselves to be given the same status as some ghetto crack addict. See, prisons are built for the poor and uneducated. That's why they represent more than 90% of the population that's incarcerated. See, half of them don't care they slaves, the other half don't know. So prison just becomes a revolving door for the unskilled and the poor, which just creates more job security for the CEOs, the wards, and the criminal defense lawyers. And even the district attorney got his hand inside the cake, prosecuting cases of people he know are innocent just to get them caught up in the system. Because see, prison is big business. There's more people in prison in America than anywhere else in the world, yet this is supposed to be the land of the free. See, can't nobody tell me that crime don't pay. I mean, what if you're a criminal defense lawyer, you make 6 figures a year, do you really want to see crime go away? Hell no. You'd rather see people living in poverty because poverty breeds crime. The more crime means the bigger the house, the bigger the boat, and the better the Rolex watch. And while the kids get to go off to college, poor kids go off to the school of hard knocks. Now, I'm all about peace, but fuck the police, and especially chief of police, this bullshit speaks about how crime don't pay. Because pretty soon there won't be nobody left to lock up, then what? You just left with a fucked up nation, the police all patrolling one big plantation, everybody just sitting around waiting for another Emancipation Proclamation like it's 1863. See, everything I see leads me to believe that there's a very thin line between breaking the law and being the law, because see, laws are made to be broken. So you can't tell me some of these judicial officials, they secretly hoping that niggas don't open up their eyes and realize that the only way to beat the system is to stay out of the system. So I'm no longer giving them shit. I'm gonna make sure I stay legit, because I don't belong in no prison. So the next time a cop pulls me over, I better tell him to suck on these 9 inches and get fucked with no foreplay, because I understand the game and I know that crime pays, and I know this the land of the thief and the home and the slave, and I know America got 1,000,001 ways to get paid. So the last thing I'm trying to hear is a motherfucker tell me that crime don't pay. Man, they write history books about crooks, from Jesse James to John Dillinger. Man, they was notorious gunslingers. And when John Gotti died, they marched him through the city like he was some type of slain world leader. And these drug dealers go out and buy Mercedes and Lexus, but nobody ever asked Mercedes and Lexus to forfeit 20% of their profit, because 20% of their product was bought with drug money. They don't give a shit where the money comes from. Just keep it coming. That's how the economy works. Buying and selling. So it doesn't matter if it comes from a college graduate or a 2-time felon. So Mr. Chief of Police, I have to disagree with your bullshit speech that crime don't pay. Because if no people no longer sell dope, steal, and rob, your ass will be out of a fucking job. And I'll bet you change what you got to say, because you already know that crime definitely pays. Peace on that, y'all.
Now, my primary purpose in poetry is to tick some people off. So I'm hoping somebody get offended with these words and I'm spitting. That way I know I'm doing my job. Because when it comes to this mic game, I ain't got time to play. So you gonna hear no raunchy talk about how I make the coochie pop, my AK spray. Got way too many other things I need to say. Because I'm the new millennium field nigga with the article to Kente. I'm the runaway slave that got away. Told master to get up off my tip and where he can stick his resume and his 401k. I know 401 other ways to get paid. So never allow nobody ever to lead you to believe that they ever bought a slave. Because basically the business of slavery is way too profitable for it to ever be stoppable. See, America simply reinvented the definition of slavery by really taking race out of the equation in order to increase the size of their plantation. So now, regardless of your ethnic or racial persuasion or your religious affiliation, every one of you now have the opportunity to work on master's plantation. Because anybody that works a job that pays them anything that close to minimum wage can go ahead and consider themselves a slave. See, the biggest misconception with slavery is that the slaves didn't get paid. That the slaves didn't get a paycheck. They definitely got paid. So they got the leftover food. Their master didn't want to consume, a few clothes, and a place to stay. And that's exactly what you get with minimum wage. You get just enough sustenance to give you the guts to get up and do it again the next day. 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, and every other Sunday. And master no longer got to beat the slaves to make them behave. Now they just dock your pay or mess with your sick days or put you on that 12 to 6 graveyard shift. Got you busting your back from dusk to dawn, but you still don't have a phone and can barely keep your lights on. So in order for those little extra crumbs of life, sometimes the slaves afford to resort to commit petty crimes. You see, those slaves lived back in the day, not only were they brave, but they had to live bold, because whenever that weather got blistering cold, those same slaves had to break into master's home to steal warm blankets and extra clothes. And that's the very reason why, this very day and time, they still associate black people with crime, which brings me to the 13th Amendment, which clearly mentions that slavery was the boss for all persons except for those convicted of a crime. So plantations become penitentiaries and correctional facilities where the state pays the inmate 8 cents an hour, provides them with food, clothes, and a shower, a place to stay, and that's when the warden forces that prison to produce products that the state turns right back around and sells in the open market. That's slavery 101, baby, regardless of what you want to call it. I mean, what if all these Walmart stores existed back in the year 1712? Who in the hell you think would have been working the cash registers and stocking the shelves? See, it doesn't matter if you're just a prisoner pressing out license plates in the prison system, or just some burger flipping, tomato picking Mexican immigrant, or just some auto factory worker working up in Flint, Michigan. Slavery is the heartbeat of capitalism, and capitalism is the beast that don't sleep. That's why there's cocaine on every corner and 24-hour TV.
9 to 5 grind just be weighing heavy on my mind. Cause see, them 2 15-minute breaks and a half-hour lunches don't be enough. So when I go home, I'll be ready to relax my dome and unwind and let my mind release by burning some green trees wrapped in a brown leaf. So on my way home to the crib, I hit the weed spot, give me a $20 bag of that gunfire, and hit the liquor store, get a box of Phillies and 2 tall cans of Budweiser. Now one day I'm sitting at the crib smoking a spliff, sipping my brews, and I happen to be flipping past the Embassy Nightly News, and I see this police chief giving some speech about he setting up some crime task force committee to help crack down on crime in the city. And at the end of his little soliloquy, he had the nerve to say that he wanted to send a message out to the people that crime don't pay. Now that's a bunch of bullshit. Because not only is it cliche to say that crime don't pay, but that's like a 400-pound fat man trying to jump a fence. It just doesn't make sense. See, crime is big business. Just look how many people who are employed by the judicial system. From the COs, to the POs, to the prosecuting attorneys, to the bailiffs who guard the juries, the courtroom stenographer, the crime scene photographer, the 911 dispatcher, the fire clerks, the phone tappers, and can't forget about the forensic science to do the lab test, the people who manufacture the bulletproof vest, the ATF, the FBI, and the DEA. And if crime would have stopped tomorrow, all these people would be out of work the very next day. See, crime is just as important to the economy as any other commodity. See, when the crime rate does go down, how often does the police department lay off some of his officers? See, since crime is big business, they just get the politicians to create more laws to create more criminals. So they come up with some little slick shit like a seatbelt law with a cute catchphrase like click or the ticket and claim they want to save lives. But the truth is, they just want to get off in the nigga business, see what he's doing off in this ride. You know, hopefully they catch him riding dirty with some weed, stashed in seats, or ride with a suspended license, doing a little drinking and driving. But if you really want to cut down on drinking and driving, then why isn't it required that you have to take a breathalyzer before you leave the bar or the club? Because see, they'd rather for you to get off in the streets and have to deal with the police, and that's how they maintain their job security. And these correctional facilities turning niggas into modern-day slaves, they paying them way below the minimum wage. So they pay a prisoner 15 cents an hour to press out your license plates. But when you go to the DMV, it costs you $200 or $300 for them exact same license plates. So don't tell me that crime don't pay, because every other day they shut down school because of city budget cuts. But when was the last time you heard of a prison going bankrupt? Then they got these fucked up cocaine laws where they give you 2 years for powder, 10 years for rock. But the truth is, they don't ever want to see the dope game stop. Because see, a drug is a drug, whether it's crack or Prozac. They got these little children addicted to Ritalin, but you never see no pharmaceutical company being portrayed as no villain. I mean, whether they made all the legal drugs illegal. You had niggas making rap videos about how they stand on the corner slinging nicotine patches and serving up 8 balls of Demerol and slinging keys of Viagra all the way to Florida to Alaska. But see, that's never gonna happen. Because see, rich white folks have never allowed themselves to be given the same status as some ghetto crack addict. See, prisons are built for the poor and uneducated. That's why they represent more than 90% of the population that's incarcerated. See, half of them don't care they slaves, the other half don't know. So prison just becomes a revolving door for the unskilled and the poor, which just creates more job security for the CEOs, the boards, and the criminal defense lawyers. And even the district attorney got his hand inside the cake, prosecuting cases of people he know are innocent just to get them caught up in the system. Because see, prison is big business. There's more people in prison in America than anywhere else in the world, yet this is supposed to be the land of the free. See, can't nobody tell me that crime don't pay. I mean, what if you're a criminal defense lawyer, you make 6 figures a year, do you really want to see crime go away? Hell no. You'd rather see people living in poverty, because poverty breeds crime. The more crime means the bigger the house, the bigger the boat, and the better the Rolex watch. And while the kids get to go off to college, poor kids go off to the school of hard knocks. Now, I'm all about peace, but fuck the police, and especially chief of police, this bullshit speech about how crime don't pay. Because pretty soon there won't be nobody left to lock up, then what? You just left with a fucked up nation, the police all patrolling one big plantation, everybody just sitting around waiting for another Emancipation Proclamation like it's 1863. See, everything I see leads me to believe that there's a very thin line between breaking the law and being the law, because see, laws are made to be broken. So you can't tell me some of these judicial officials, they secretly hoping that niggas don't open up their eyes and realize that the only way to beat the system is to stay out of the system. So I'm no longer giving them shit. I'm gonna make sure I stay legit, because I don't belong in no prison. So the next time a cop pulls me over, I better tell him to suck on these 9 inches and get fucked with no foreplay, because I understand the game and I know that crime pays, and I know this the land of the thief and the home of the slave, and I know America got 1,000,001 ways to get paid. So the last thing I'm trying to hear is a motherfucker tell me that crime don't pay. Man, they write history books about crooks, from Jesse James to John Dillinger. Man, they was notorious gunslingers. And when John Gotti died, they marched through the city like he was some type of slain world leader. And these drug dealers go out and buy Mercedes and Lexus, but nobody ever asked Mercedes and Lexus to forfeit 20% of their profit, because 20% of their product was bought with drug money. They don't give a shit where the money comes from. Just keep it coming. That's how the economy works. Buying and selling. So it doesn't matter if it comes from a college graduate or a 2-time felon. So Mr. Chief Police, I have to disagree with your bullshit speech that crime don't pay. Because if no people no longer sell dope, steal and rob, your ass will be out of a fucking job. And I bet you change what you got to say, because you already know that crime definitely pays. Peace on that, y'all.
Now, my primary purpose in poetry is to tick some people off. So I'm hoping somebody get offended with these words and I'm spitting. That way I know I'm doing my job. Because when it comes to this mic game, I ain't got time to play. So you won't hear no raunchy talk about how I make the coochie pop, my AK spray. Got way too many other things I need to say. Because I'm the new millennium field nigga with the article to Kente. I'm the runaway slave that got away. Told master to get up off my tip and where he can stick his resume and his 401k. I know 401 other ways to get paid. So never allow nobody ever to lead you to believe that they ever bought a slavery. Because basically, the business of slavery is way too profitable for it to ever be stoppable. See, America simply reinvented the definition of slavery by really taking race out of the equation in order to increase the size of their plantation. So now, regardless of your ethnic or racial persuasion or your religious affiliation, every one of you now have the opportunity to work on master's plantation. Because anybody that works a job that pays them anything that close to minimum wage can go ahead and consider themselves a slave. See, the biggest misconception with slavery is that the slaves didn't get paid. That the slaves didn't get a paycheck. They definitely got paid. So they got the leftover food. Their master didn't want to consume, a few clothes and a place to stay. And that's exactly what you get with minimum wage. You get just enough sustenance to give you the guts to get up and do it again the next day. 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, and every other Sunday. And master no longer got to beat his slaves to make them behave. Now they just dock your pay or mess with your sick days or put you on that 12 to 6 graveyard shift. Got you busting your back from dusk to dawn, but you still don't have a phone and can barely keep your lights on. So in order for those little extra crumbs in life, sometimes the slave the fourth to resort to commit petty crimes. You see, those slaves lived back in the day. Not only were they brave, but they had to live bold, because whenever that weather got blistering cold, those same slaves had to break into master's home to steal warm blankets and extra clothes. And that's the very reason why, this very day and time, they still associate black people with crime, which brings me to the 13th Amendment, where clearly mentions that slavery was the boss for all persons except for those convicted of a crime. So plantations become penitentiaries or correctional facilities where the state pays the inmate 8 cents an hour, provides them with food, clothes, and a shower, with a place to stay. And that's when the warden forces that prison to produce products that the state turns right back around and sells in the open market. That's slavery 101, baby, regardless of what you want to call it. I mean, what if all these Walmart stores existed back in the year 1712? Who in the hell you think would have been working the cash registers and stocking the shelves? See, it doesn't matter if you're just a prisoner pressing out license plate in the prison system, or just some burger flipping, tomato picking Mexican immigrant, or just some auto factory worker working up in Flint, Michigan. Slavery is the heartbeat of capitalism, and capitalism is the beast that don't sleep. That's why there's cocaine on every corner and 24-hour TV.
This is Ebony Man 2K. We're about to go into our chat and music session. But first, if you would like to donate via Cash App, the Cash App ID is $EBMN2K. That's $EBMN2K. If you'd like to make a donation via PayPal, send it to paypal.me/EBMNTWOK. That's paypal.me/EBMNTWOK. And if you'd like to send it via Venmo, send it to @EBMN2K. That's @EBMN2K. Thanks. And let me add one more thing. Direct links to all of my accounts, including PayPal and Cash App, are located in the description box and at the top of my comment section. You can just click on the link to donate. Also, Super Chat is on as a feature at the bottom of the chat box in the chat room if you would like to donate there, with a highlighted chat post with super stickers and animation. Super Chat is new to my channel, so you should give it a try. Thanks.